And we're live. Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to finally another night of Community D&D, Dragon of Icespire Peak, on Arvin Elron's channel with the Shadow Crew, hosted by me, the Dungeon Master, Shadowed Mage. Make sure to check out all of Arv's stuff with the Arv commands that you can see at the bottom of the stream there, and then also you'll probably want to check out
all that stuff.
exclamation point Icarus, exclamation point library, and exclamation point Greyshade KS for all of Arv's publishing and written works and all that kind of fun stuff. And of course, as always, exclamation point BLM for Black Lives Matter. We need to make sure that we keep on indicating that we are a community that supports that movement. And exclamation point help now for anyone who might be in need of assistance with things like suicidal thoughts. But with that all said, maybe we should jump right on into introductions of our crew that is with us tonight. We are down one player tonight, but we'll start off right below me with a Rock God. Rock God, could you please introduce yourself and who your character is in our campaign?
Oh, I am Rock God. I am here a lot in the chat, as mod, and I say things in there. And tonight I am playing Malik Halamarodin, the Wood Elf Ranger, with sort of Thurley. And I think that's about it.
Okay.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
I'm a little out of practice.
All right. All right. Well, that's good. We'll move right down our column of webcams, and we'll go to Noel Quarter _TV with Hoodie. Could you please introduce yourself and remind everyone who your character is?
Sure. I'm Hoodie. I stream video games every so often. I play Iso Moldleaf, a very unique, mostly okay to be around individual. He is a ASMR or protector ASMR. I don't remember what type of ASMR he is. He's an ASMR, Pact of the Tome Celestial Warlock.
Yep, I think you got it.
Yeah. Hey.
Okay.
That's yeah.
And then we are without Echo Alpha _X5 this evening, just due to some personal reasons. So hopefully we will have him back next week. Is our at least scheduled idea for when our next session will be. Make sure to be part of Arv's Discord for any announcements that if anything happens with that schedule. So then let us then move on to Triffid. Could you please introduce yourself and remind us all who your character is?
Yes, hi, I am Triffity Mats. I am playing a character named Grace of the Refreshing Breeze. I'm a Tabaxi Bard, and I think I'm at 6th level now, waiting for my character sheet to come up. But I joined this little party a while ago. I'm kind of enjoying wandering around the world with a little bit of a mission, but for me it hasn't gotten as serious as for the other members of the party, yet I haven't lost anyone. I'm just kind of doing what seems to be a good thing to me so far.
All right. Well, thank you. And with that, I guess maybe I'll see if I can give a little bit of a brief summary of what maybe happened last time to bring us to where we are now. So, last time the party was delving into a barrow, which was called the Dragon Barrow, in search of a sword that they had received a vision of that would that the sword would be useful in their quest to ultimately fight the titular dragon of Icespire Peak. And they found the sword, and then when they tried to take the sword, they were assaulted by an invisible stalker. But they managed to defeat that, and then they quickly exited the barrow without deciding to go back for some other maybe goodies that they might have been aware of, but decided that they better get out of there. Then they met a centaur who led them through some safety into the fringes of Neverwinter Wood. They made camp with, and then they ultimately came to Falcon's hunting lodge, at which point they had been greeted by a rather elderly man named Corin, who had then called out to Falcon to come and meet the guests, and that, I believe, is where we left off. So,
Sounds right to me.
and thank you, Sticker Glue, for the Tier 1 subscription to Arvin Elron.
Yay!
Welcome in, Sticker Glue. And buckle in for some D&D tonight with the Shadow Crew. So, the elderly man who had called out for Falcon kind of starts to retreat off towards the north, and so Falcon, actually the elderly man goes off towards down over here, at which point Falcon also comes out from there, and he comes out and he says, he calls out to you as he comes striding up, and Falcon is wearing a fur-lined cloak over studded leather armor. He stands 6.5 feet tall, and he has black hair and broad shoulders, and he has blue, sharp eyes, and sports a neatly trimmed beard. He seems to move with casual confidence, and he seems to be completely nonplussed to see you, and he calls out, saying, "Hail, adventurers! Well met. What brings you to Falcon's hunting lodge?"
Well, we were sort of just passing through, and we thought we'd stop by.
And he kind of glances at you, Malik, and he's kind of like eyes you up and down, and he says, Have we met before? You seem a little bit familiar, but I can't seem to, as if we maybe have met in passing, but never formally met."
Right, yeah, no. I live here.
"You live in Neverwinter Wood?"
In Neverwinter, yeah. It's west of here.
"Ah. Oh, well then, well met. I of course am Falcon, and what is, may I ask for your name?" Oh,
Wait, what are you talking to?
yeah, it's still you.
Oh, still me?
Yeah.
Oh, I think you know I'm Malik. Malik Alamarode.
Ah, yes. And then he kind of glances over at Grace, and he kind of also kind of like has a quizzical look on his face at a moment, and he says, I don't think I've met you before, but I may have met some of your family? You seem very similar to some other tabaxi hunters I have run into around these parts. Are you a part of their hunting clan?
Uh, I may be related distantly to these people, but I am not myself a hunter. I am a bard. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Grace of the Refreshing Breeze.
Ah, well, fair enough. Sorry to make assumptions. It is, you are well met.
That's quite all right. I might know some of these hunters. What are some of their names?
Oh, I believe, I have met, forgive me if I cannot quite enunciate their names correctly, but I believe I have met a, Hanar and Hanrad.
Hanar is my father, and Hanred is one of my brothers. How long ago did you see them?
Oh, it was probably half a year ago or so. But they have been hunting around these parts, at least back then. I didn't have too much interaction with them, but they seemed like fine folks.
It's been a while since I've seen them. Perhaps if I leave a message here, you would be kind enough to hold it for them in case they come through again sometime.
Well, certainly. I can.
Unfortunately, our paths do not cross very often.
Well, sometimes family is not who you are related to, but who you choose.
Wait, how long ago did you see them?
It was probably 4 or 5 months ago, maybe as many as 6.
And I'll turn to Grace and go, and how long has it been since you've seen them?
Well, longer than that. Considerably longer than that.
All right, well, yeah, doing the...
As I said, we do not see each other often.
Old Shakunis routine. Very, very mysterious. Right.
If you will have it, my family did not agree with my choice to follow the path of music, and they felt that I should have stayed with the family business, and therefore they do not come to see me play, and I do not visit their hunting camps, and so we see each other very seldom.
Fair enough.
And Falcon just kind of like...
So, forgive us for that interruption. Tell us how many people are visiting here now. Would you be able to accommodate us for a short stay?
Well, yes, certainly. In fact, there is no one currently staying here. Business has been rather low of late, given the number of orcs that have been kind of pervading the woods of late. I've seen more orcs in the woods of late than I am fond of. They are rather nasty brutes sometimes. I've very rarely met an orc that I'm able to get along with.
Yeah, I would imagine that some of those rich blokes that you host from Neverwinter, they come out here. I'm sure they might be a little afraid.
Yeah, the those soft rich folks from Neverwinter very much do not like to have interactions with the more brutish of the orcs who have been around of late, and those rich folks, they come to, hunt deer, elk, maybe the occasional bear, but hunting has not been as prosperous of late due to the levels of the rampaging orcs. All due to that cursed white dragon that's been around of late. You can see him flying overhead every now and again. I believe he's taken up root down in the mountains to the south. Seems to have driven the orcs down from the mountains and into the wood.
Yeah, we've heard that he's staying at Icespire Peak.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. Be a good lair for a white dragon.
By the way, this is our magical friend, Isel.
I had the book up the entire time, just face in it, shielded completely. I don't nod or make any type of motion. I just stand there, occasionally flip a page.
He doesn't seem to be one much for words, nor does your other companion.
Yeah, he's a little bit quiet, and then I'll point at Roderick and I'll go, and he's a little bit mysterious. So,
Well, at least you, Malik, and
However, it has been said that I often do enough talking for 2 people, or even 3. So if it's conversation you want, we can have a pleasant time this evening around the fireside.
well, I'm sure that would be marvelous. I do have some more standard kind of lodgings, or if you would rather have some more lavish lodgings, I could let you stay for 10 gold pieces a night in the more lavish lodgings. Otherwise, you could have the standard lodgings for 3 gold pieces a night.
is this like an individual decision, or is this all of us together?
Well, hold on just a second.
I kind of nudge Roderick and whisper, I really like the lavish ones. Please, I'll throw an extra. Oh, no, not
I
Malik.
pick that up and say, well, we've been camping on the road for a while. I wouldn't mind a more comfortable bed than usual this time around.
The more lavish guest rooms could probably fit all 4 of you if a couple of you would not mind having a bed or 2 moved into those rooms.
Well, I'm one for a more simple lifestyle, but they can do whatever they want.
Oh, certainly. I mean, just let me know how if you even would like to stay. I mean, it's certainly not required. But if you do happen to stay for at least a night, I may have some things to perhaps ask of you to possibly help with.
Yeah, no, I think we have a little bit of time. We can, pause here for a bit. Like I said, I like to live a little bit of a simpler life, and so does my bookish friend here. I think he might like the 3 gold a night room as well.
As you start to imply that, the major image of Isel manifests out and walks through you towards Falcon. Don't pay attention to my compatriot here. I would very much enjoy the lavish settings. Here, you can find the gold. And I motion, the major image of Isel motions back to Isel, holding out a pouch underneath the book. I don't know if we are going to be staying here, but take this down payment, if you will. And if we do stay, payment is insured. And if we don't, well, I will come back and reclaim. Thank you. And then it just kind of evaporates. I'm still just holding the gold pouch out underneath the book.
And Falcon's eyes just kind of twinkle, and he takes the pouch. At which point, I assume that Roderick would probably chime in with something to the effect of being kind of gruff-voiced and saying that he's probably fine with the standard lodgings.
Very well, then. Isel and I can take the nicer rooms, and Roderick and Malak can stay in the rustic portion of the camp.
Well, very well then. I will go and I only have a couple of others in my employ here, so I will go wrangle them up and go off and get your lodgings all set up. Feel free to explore around. Everything here is open to you. So I just ask that you would not enter my own personal lodgings, which are where the heck did that go?
I'm gonna guess here.
So this one is Falcon's. This one is the Lavish Quarters.
Oh, that's the Lavish Quarters.
Yep.
No
Was it-
fireplace, though. I see.
So that would be the my own personal quarters are the western is the westernmost room of the upper level of the main lodge. So that would be above the kitchen. The Lavish Quarters are just off the same hallway beside them. Other than that, you are free to go to the kitchen or to the stables. For the animal pens, you may have mostly free
Do you have a
reign.
library?
A library? No library. Sorry.
There's an audible sigh.
No, just there's a kitchen, pantry, dining room and trophy hall, the quarters, the animal pens. That's really about it.
Do you have a shooting range?
Not per se, but something could certainly be arranged. There are certainly targets that we can set up if that is something you wish.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. How about you set up some targets, right? And me and you will both take a bow and arrow. We'll shoot at the targets. And whoever gets the most bullseyes, if I get the most bullseyes, I stay for free. If you get the most bullseyes, I'll pay you double.
Ooh, I will certainly take you up on that. But I will go and, like I said, I will go and find Corwin and Pell and make sure that the quarters are all in order, and then we will get those targets set up, and we can have that competition.
Sounds good.
And then he wanders off towards kitchen.
And I'm gonna lean over to Grace and go, I'm gonna wipe the fucking floor with him.
You know,
Probably will, but at least it won't cost him anything that he has to actually pay for. Just he won't make any profit off you tonight. Good
Right.
luck.
listen, Malik, just because you enjoy sleeping on twigs and dirt doesn't mean that we all enjoy it. I appreciate speaking for me when I don't feel comfortable speaking around others, but try to recall that I am a man of luxury and indulgence. Every once in a while, please.
Oh, I know you are. But I do love messing with you.
It's fair enough. Don't expect it won't come back. Kind of lean back down
I'd
into the
like
book.
to go ahead and do a perception check. I'm looking around and sniffing. I'm trying to see, is this a well-kept, well-ordered place, or do I smell like, I don't know, pony manure and old blood that hasn't been cleaned properly and things like that.
Well, there is...
And so,
Oh, right, sure. Okay.
Damn.
There's certainly like the smell of animals and animal excrement coming from the southern area. I will, if you kind of zoom out on the map, and then down kind of over here and here is where the animal pens and the stables are. But it seems to be decently well maintained. Like, it's not like there's a severe backlog of manure that's been built up or anything like that. And there's quite much nicer aromas coming from the kitchen area where Falcon had retreated to.
excellent. That'll do.
Okay. So, is anywhere you guys wish to go kind of explore around here? Go take a peek at what things are? Or you just kind of wait for Falcon to come back?
I am gonna go back out this way and grab our horses and bring them to the stables.
Yep.
I'm going to go find a place to sit and wait for all of that to happen, and
Okay.
send Hemingway up to Falcon's room to look into it.
Rude.
He immediately told us to not go in his room. What do you... like, Easel's red flags were just, like, there was red flags everywhere.
All right. As you've gone back out to gather the horses, a young boy kind of comes up from the south bus, from down by the stables, and he comes up and he kind of comes by and just kind of like stands by the rest of the group and nods at you all, and he makes some hand gestures. Do any of your characters actually know sign language? Well, I mean, Roderick would know, like, the Drow sign language, but not, like, something more akin to whatever the Faerun equivalent to ASL is.
Yeah, right. Faerun sign language?
Yeah, FSL.
I didn't even know that was an option. That's awesome. I'm taking that on my next character.
That is awesome. But I don't have it. I think I might have a spell that lets me talk with people. Let's see. Yeah, I have comprehend languages.
Okay.
But do I really care what he's saying? He's probably saying, let me take the horses.
In fact, yes, that is what he would be saying. He's basically just saying hi, and like he makes some quick individual, almost like letter-like movements that is probably him trying to say what his name is, and then just basically saying that he will take the horses and put them in the stables.
Well, I'm sure I recognize that he's saying something with his hands. So I say, greetings. My name is Grace. This is my horse. and please do. If you're here to take care of the horses, please go ahead and do that.
And he just nods enthusiastically. So when Malik returns with the horses...
But I go ahead and take my saddlebags and instrument cases off.
Okay. And he just kind of like waits to make sure that like everything seems to be good to go, and then he'll like when gestured to, he'll take the horses by their reins and lead them down to the stables.
Oh, you're taking the horses, right? You're the stable boy.
And he nods and he kind of gives a thumbs up.
Oh, right. Yeah. Man, a few words. I like it. Here you go. Now I'll hand him the reins.
Well,
of course you like it.
and when you say that, he like points at his mouth, and then like he just kind of like makes like this movement.
Oh, you can't speak. Oh, well. All right. Sorry then.
And he just kind of like shrugs and nods, and then he moves to take the horses, if that's...
Yeah, I'll hand him the reins.
Okay.
The brown one is mine. Take extra care of him.
At which point, he like stops, turns back to you, and holds out his hand as if expecting something.
Oh. Oh, no. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I'll give him 2 gold.
When his eyes go a little wide, and then like he like quickly like closes his hand around the coins, and then like before like anything else can happen, he like takes the horses and
like,
goes away.
Before you realize you've overpaid him like 100 times.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I thought you were going to do the Home Alone thing and place some beef jerky in his hand.
Here's some pocket bacon.
All right. Okay. So he takes the horses down to here. And then Falcon comes back out of the kitchen. And he looks over at all of you just still kind of like standing there, and he says, "Are you just gonna stand around gawking all day?"
Are the rooms ready?
The main man of my employ, my cook and kind of all-around maintenance man, Corwin, is tending to make sure that the quarters will be all set up. Malik, do you want to come with me then and grab the targets, and we'll get them set up?
Absolutely, let's go.
All right.
Is this a bench right here?
Oh,
This guy?
that right there is
Like a stoop and a door.
let me see here.
I'm looking to sit down and send Hemingway up to spy.
That would be like a porch leading into this main big hall.
Well, if it has a step of some variety, I'd probably slowly walk over to it and then sit down so I'm not on the ground, and then send Hemingway casually up the wall. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to give him invisibility too. I'm going to be extra safe about it.
Okay.
And then I'm going to look like I'm lost in my book, but then I'm going to see through Hemingway's eyes.
Oh, that's actually brilliant, because nobody will know. You'll just be looking at your book just like always, but you're actually...
It's coming together.
Look at the big
It
brain
was
on
a plan
Easel.
all along, I'm sure.
If only I wasn't using this for something probably completely innocuous and idiotic. It would be great.
Yeah, so there are definitely windows up there that Hemingway could look into. As far as getting inside, you'd have to like. Are you actually like sending him like in through the door or just up?
No, I was
up
I was
the
just gonna have
outside?
him go up and peek in first.
Okay.
Because like we're not. I don't expect any battles to be happening. I don't expect to be like casting any spells, so I can just sit and short rest after short rest.
Yep.
And slowly poke and prod my way through all of this. So this was just reconnaissance. This is part one. See if it's even worth bothering with.
Okay. So Falcon takes Malik down to this area here, down by the stables, which seems to be kind of like a general storage, mostly for like riding equipment and food for animals and whatever. But there are some like target practice targets also in here, and he grabs one. He kind of like picks up two, hands one to Malik, and then heads back out. And he then starts walking back up to the northern part of the yard. And then he'll wind up setting down his target right here, and he gestures for Malik to set his down right beside it.
And I will. I'll put it down, and then I'll come back this way.
Yep. Alright. So,
That's not that far. It's only 25 feet.
I'll
Yeah.
just drift over casually so I can get a good look at the proceedings.
and Roderick will just follow in tow. and then he kind of like if Falcon hears Malik make kind of a skeptical grunt. And he's like, perhaps you're right. Perhaps we should make this a little further. How about we move the targets more over by here, and then we'll shoot down the long way from back over there.
That sounds good to me.
All right.
I'll go grab my target, and I'll go put it over in this area.
Yep. Okay.
And then I'll move over here.
You, magical friend, you might want to not sit there for too much longer.
Would Hemingway hear this? Because I can't see or hear while I'm in Hemingway.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's like shouting out for
Yeah.
for you conceivably to hear it. So if Hemingway just is kind of like up on the side of the building, then Hemingway would hear it.
I immediately kind of come back, look at him, close my book, walk over to here, open my book, and sit down on the ground.
Well,
I mean, even if you didn't pay attention at all, that would still be on brand for Easel.
Yeah, I feel like I was giving him some service by paying him attention.
and Falcon just kind of like looks over at Malik and he's like, "Is your friend always like this? He's welcome to go inside. He doesn't need to wait out here."
Yeah, he's sort of always like this. Yeah, he grows on you. I didn't like him at first, but now I like him a lot.
Well, fair enough. So, our wager then is, if I win, you'll pay me double, but if you win, then you stay for free. Is that our terms?
Sounds good to me. Yeah.
All right. And he said, how much of a competition do we want to make this? 5 shots each?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. I'll go first. And he lets loose his first shot, and it flies unerringly straight dead center into his target.
Quick question. So if I use thaumaturgy in the middle of a shot, can I disrupt where the arrow lands? Is that a thing that I can do?
Use thaumaturgy as a reaction.
One of the effects of thaumaturgy is a gust of wind. So
A gust of wind or shaking of the ground. So, I mean, I can kind of skedaddle that arrow all about. I'd hope.
whether you could do that without being noticed.
I just cough as the ground shakes. Oh, sorry, my bad.
Voice booms, cause flames to flicker.
I mean, I'm not looking to drastically alter.
Tremors.
I'm just looking to alter enough to maybe help out if I deem it worthy.
You know what?
Get rid
If
of
I
I'll-
catch
I'll-
on to what Isel is doing, I'm going to interfere with Isel. So
I will let
Yes.
you. Yeah, if you wish to do this, I'll let you do this on the next one.
Well, yeah, I was gonna hold off. I just wanted to check before I even started like thinking about how to use this. I wanted to check in if this was a thing I could do. Because I might do it to Malik. He did try and make me sleep on twigs earlier. You never know.
Yeah, like if you wanted to like make it so that like there are tremors in the ground right under the targets or something like that, then yes, I
Oh, yeah.
would say that that's applicable.
Okay, excellent. All right, I'm gonna sit on that then.
All right. So
It's
Falcon's
5 arrows.
Falcon's fired his first shot and hit the target dead center. So now it will be Malik's turn, and so Malik, just make a longbow attack roll for me, please.
Okay, so I'm gonna look over at Falcon and I'll say that's not bad. That's quite impressive, actually. All right then, I'll go to take my bow off my back, and as I reach back and touch it, I'm gonna cast magic weapon on it.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
So this will be +1 to hit.
Okay.
So let me go back. Where is it? Oh, here we go. All right. 27.
Yeah, 27. All right. So same thing. Your arrow flies unerringly straight and hits the target dead center.
Oh, looks like we're tied.
Well, it seems we're both veterans with the bow. I am not surprised, but do keep up. And he notches another bow, or notches his bow with another arrow and lets loose. All right. Are you doing the thaumaturgy there, Isol, on this one?
No. I mean, they're both doing all right. Malik doesn't look too far behind. It's fine.
And Falcon's second arrow slides in, like basically right edging up against his first arrow, alongside it, dead center in the target again. And then he kind of like gives Malik a mischievous look and nods to indicate for him to proceed with his next shot.
Not bad, not bad. All right, here we go.
14.
14. Alright. So, these targets have, like, 3 concentric red circles. Well, rather, a dot, a circle, and a larger circle. And so, your second shot is not in the red dot, but it is between the red dot and the first outer circle.
The first red ring.
Yeah, the first red ring.
Yep.
Oh, perhaps you can't keep up. Falcon kind of taunts you a little bit.
Well, we'll see about that.
And so then Falcon takes his third shot. But something must have happened because his shot seems a little off and it hits the second circle right on the edge. And he grimaces and he says, "Ugh, must have been something with the wind or something. Don't know what."
Perhaps the sun was in your eyes.
Yeah. Perhaps and he kind of glances up and it's a cloudy day and he's like, All right, and then he kind of like sulks a bit and takes a step back. So now it is Malik's third shot.
All right, here we go then.
27.
So you split your first arrow.
Nice.
You pull a Robin Hood. And Falcon is definitely grimacing now, and he's like, he almost seems to be muttering under his breath.
I'll just look over at him and then look back.
And he kind of like rolls his shoulders a bit, and he like shakes his head. And he goes to take his fourth shot. And he splits his first arrow.
Oh, shit.
Ooh.
Damn it.
Told you that last one must have been a fluke.
Right, it must have been, yeah. You know, I understand.
All right.
This is my fourth one?
Yep.
All right, here we go. 27.
All right. So
Oh my God.
it's like the first arrow had like struck the dead center of the target, and then like it was the third one split that one, and now this one splits the third one.
By the way, this is the best that I've rolled in the entire fucking campaign.
You're using up all your good rolls on this contest.
I know, right?
But Falcon nods approvingly. He seems a little less perturbed than he did after his one wonky shot. He goes to take his fifth and final shot, and it slots in right below his two split ones from before. Still dead on center in the target.
So on the bullseye?
Yep, on the bullseye.
So he hit 4 bullseyes?
Yep.
Damn. All right.
But so currently as it is, he's had 4 bullseyes and 1 on the second circle. And you've had 3 bullseyes and 1 between the bullseye and the first circle.
Okay.
This is
Well.
the last shot.
This is my last shot. So I'm just going to ask Arudnell if he has a inspiration.
Yeah. Anyone in chat who maybe has an inspiration wants to give it to Malik for this competition?
No, it's
so
fine.
that he can earn a free night's lodging.
so I can eschew 3 gold pieces, even though I gave the stable boy 2.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Oh no!
Oh no! Critical fail! You completely missed the target! kind of goes sailing off, and like it hits the stone wall behind. And then Falcon just like doubles over laughing. And he's like, "Pressure got to you, eh?"
Yeah, I don't even know. Well, I do have these exploding arrows, and I was going to use one of those, but
And Falcon still just like laughing his head off, but like he kind of like manages to stop for a moment and just like holds up a hand. And he's like, "Friend, that is the most fun I've had in a very long time, and just for that, I will actually let you stay for only 2 gold for the night instead of the 3.
I think that's fair.
There's no need to honor the bet and pay me double. I will let you stay for 2 gold for a night." And he's continuing just to like laugh, and he's like slapping his knee.
I will say, Falcon, you're a much better shot than I thought you were going to be.
Yeah. Kind of background DM notes here. Falcon is actually like legitimately has a feature called Sharpshooter.
Damn it.
He's basically like the equivalent of like a level 4 ranger.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn it. I thought he was just an NPC with no stat block.
No, he has a stat block, and it's a pretty good stat block, actually.
So while all this has been going on, Hemingway kind of poked up and looked in. Did I notice anything strange up there?
Isle of dead bodies.
Yeah, I mean, that's really warning bell stuff.
Right. So
A skeleton, some blood in a bucket, a singular hand.
So he's looking in Falcon's room. Falcon's bedroom is cozy and warm, but untidy. He has a couple of large wardrobes. That's about it.
Okay. But no, there's nothing like concerning. There's no open notes anywhere that are like,
Nope.
we're going to kill all of them. Nothing like that. All right.
Nothing like that. If Hemingway stopped to peek in the window for over here for the lavish guest quarters, you can see that there are 2 nicely sized beds in this luxurious bedchamber. It also includes a wash basin and what appears to be some boxes of pipeweed.
All right. I guess then Hemingway would, and after watching from a nice position the contents of the match, Hemingway would scamper back down and then just magically reappear. The invisibility spell would lift as Hemingway kind of scoots back into like the larger collar that I have, the hood. And then, yeah, I would just kind of get up and slowly walk over to the rest of the group.
While
Alright.
Falcon is laughing and slapping his knee, I will pull out my shawm, which is like an oboe on steroids, and I will start to improvise a lighthearted little tune going along with the knee slapping rhythm in gentle mockery of Malik.
All right. And Falcon kind of calms himself down and like lets out like a big kind of like breath, and he just kind of goes, "Whew. Ah, that's a nice tune you're playing there."
Thank you, friend. I do enjoy playing with tunes and songs. If you like, later on today, I might even take a few requests. But perhaps now it's time to settle into my quarters, if they are ready.
And actually, right about now, the elderly man pokes his head out of the door to the main hall here, and he like waves at Falcon. He gives a thumbs up and like, quarters are ready.
Right, I'll pick up my saddlebags and instrument cases and head over that way.
And Falcon will say, "So, your magical friend there, and Grace, was it? There are a couple of beds in those lavish quarters up above the hall in the kitchen. Malik and your mysterious friend there. I'm not sure if I caught his name. The
He's
more
Roderick.
thank you. The more rustic lodgings are right over here," and he kind of like gestures to his left towards this building here. And then he says, he says, "I am going to go check in with Corwin and see if what's on the menu for tonight's meal." And he then will
I
head
was
off.
just about to ask that.
He'll head off towards the kitchen.
As I'm going to start following Grace in if she's going up to the room
Yes.
and put down my large backpack of things.
Okay. So I should show that on this capture. So that is this room here.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So, as I explained before, when Isla was asking about what Hemingway sees, there's the two beds, a wash basin, some foot lockers to put your stuff in, and a small table with a couple of boxes of pipe weed on them.
I ignore the pipe weed. I'm just going to start laying out my gear and going over things, making sure that leather straps aren't frayed, that kind of thing. General maintenance.
Right.
That I haven't really been able to do in camp for a while.
Okay.
I'm going to stop and look at the two beds and look at Grace. Right or left? Closer to the door or further away? Which one
Which one
would you
is there a
prefer?
window? Is there one that's closer to the window?
There are two windows,
Or are they both equally?
yeah, and each one is basically like underneath a window.
Okay, it really doesn't matter to me. If you don't care, I suppose I'll take the one closer to the stairs, the door.
Oh, okay. If there happened to be a break-in, you're also the first one targeted. I mean, there are pros and cons to both the right and left bed in this scenario. I'm sure the left bed would be a bit further behind if there's a fire, but the right bed would be in a bit more of a precarious situation in case of a break-in. Just something to consider. And then I just walk over to the left bed and put my stuff down.
Well, if there's a fire, Isel, I suppose you could go to the window and fly out. Don't worry.
Okay, fair point. Yes, I'll do that. I'll tuck the pack underneath the bed and make sure that it's not really visible, and then hoist the little side pack that I always carry around back onto me, open my book, and walk out the door downstairs.
I just sit on the bed and laugh for a little while, and then I'll go back to checking my gear out.
Okay.
While they're doing that, I'd like to wander in here, and then maybe up here, and then because I'm kind of interested. Oh wait, what is that? Oh, it comes out over here, right? Because I'm kind of interested in this tower,
Oh, okay.
so I want to see if I
Um,
can find a way into it. I just kind of mill around this area till I find that door.
Yeah. So
I'm just gonna go get some more water.
okay. Yeah. So it looks like that is an odd layout, but apparently that's how that works. Um, is that yeah, up on the second level there is this door into this spiral stair, well, landing with a spiral staircase going down to this part over here, but then there is also this here, and that's what you're trying to investigate, is those two places, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this upper level one room is just an empty room, but there's tons like all of these like little small arrow slit windows look out from this what it seems to be a guard post.
That makes sense. I'll go up to the top.
So yeah, so this is this one actually is the top. If you
Oh, it
go
is? I thought
down,
this one was.
oh
Yeah, I figured this was like the roof.
oh yeah, good point. Right, so there are 3 levels to it. So this second one is the guard post room. This top one, the roof, is just the top of the tower, and it offers an unobstructed view of the clearing around the lodge and the nearby woods. So this one up here is the top, is the roof. This is the second level.
Can I see
guard
anything
post.
interesting up here?
Oh, anything interesting?
Or is it just a pretty view?
Yeah, for the time being at least, it's just a pretty view.
All right. I'll take that in for a few minutes and just kind of enjoy the not craziness.
And actually, all of you who have passed through this second level of the main hall here, so that should be Grace, Isel, and Malik, all of you give me a perception check.
You gotta remember where everything is in roll 20.
Right? I can tell that I'm indoors. So can Isel.
Yeah, there's definitely walls around me.
So can Triffin.
We are definitely not outside.
Not anymore.
Alright, so Grace is probably the only one then to notice that along this wall here on this second level and this back wall here are some rather macabre trophies. Some of which appear to be orc ears.
Don't like that. They're just the ears, like pinned up in pairs or something.
Yeah.
Are they like dried or are they still drippy or what?
Well, no, like they've been like kind of like put in like
Are they
preserving.
shellac?
Bronzed orc ears. Beautiful.
Where did you say they are? They're on like a trophy wall or something?
Yeah. There are also like kind of standard hunting trophies. There's like an elk head with antlers and whatever, and there's a bear pelt hanging up. But and those are kind of along this back wall here. But along this wall here, there are these more macabre trophies of the Orc Ears.
Okay, once I notice that, I'm going to stroll along this gallery and see if I notice anything else.
No.
any other weird trophies?
That's really that's really about it.
Is Falcon around anywhere?
He is down in the kitchen.
Okay, I'll wait till dinner to ask him about those, I guess. But yeah, that has piqued my interest, so I'm now going to walk all around, seeing what other oddities I notice.
Okay.
First around the second floor, everywhere, then I'll go up on the roof.
All right. You will find Malik on the roof. But other than that, nothing has caught your eye as to anything odd or amiss.
Okay.
Quite a view up from up here, isn't it?
It's a better view than the one downstairs. I saw something odd on the second floor. Among the regular hunting trophies, there were a couple of pairs of orc ears mounted along with the elk heads and whatnot. I don't know. It's rather gruesome if he's taking trophies from, even if they were raiders. Just, I don't like that idea of trophies from sentient beings.
Well, were they still, like, drippy, or were they, like, shellacked?
They were dried, I suppose.
Alright. Yeah. I don't know if one really... You know, you're right. That is a little strange. But you gotta understand that most of us that live out here, we're a little strange. That's kind of why we live here. We're kind of cut from a different cloth, I guess you could say, than people that live in Neverwinter would, you know?
I suppose it's a little strange, a little off. Not just strange, like, I don't know, choosing to wear red with green or something. It's a little more disturbing than simply an eccentricity.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah. I know I don't have any Orc Ears hanging in my cabin, so yeah.
Good to know.
Can I ask you something?
Yes.
The past couple of days, you've seemed a bit on edge. Are you all right?
I am. I've been thinking about some things. I'm basically okay, but as we discussed earlier, I'm separated from my family. We parted with harsh words on both sides, and I also, I'm not associating with any Harpers these days. I do enjoy freedom and independence, but I grew up in a large family with many relatives, and then I was at the Bardic College at Fakluhan, and I feel a little off balance being mostly on my own. I do enjoy my association with this group. I wouldn't exactly call Isel a friend. He's He's a little too detached for that, but I feel like I'm growing a friendship with you and with Roderick. But still, there's a bit of a lack, and I'm trying to figure out what to do about that. I'm enjoying the association with you. I'm enjoying doing some good things. I feel we've done some good, and although I don't feel ready to tackle a dragon just yet, I think we have hopes of doing more good things. And those, it's good to have some kind of purpose. And yet, I don't feel quite settled in everything.
Yeah. I understand about your family. I haven't seen my family in quite some time either, but I'm not from a large family. And elvish culture tends to be a little bit different. Like, you spend a whole lot of time when you're young with your immediate family, and then usually you go off on your own when you're around 150, 200 years old. So
for you, it's an expected thing to be on your own.
Right, yeah.
this
I
time.
I left a little earlier than that. Because I'm not that old. But yeah, I haven't seen any of my people in about 30 years.
Well, I haven't seen my folk since I left for Bardic College some years ago, so it is considerably more than the 4 months since Falcon has seen my father and brother than I have. Yeah, I haven't seen them or my mother or my other. I've run into some of my cousins from time to time, but not my immediate family, and as I said, the parting was not gentle, and so I do think of them from time to time. And I suppose, since I'm, oddly enough, the fact that I'm building closer ties with you and with Roderick has made me think a bit more of the ties that have been broken.
Well, you know what? I don't agree with a lot of things that Falcon does or says. But when he said, family is sometimes not who you're related to, it's, who you want to be. I think that's true.
Well, it's a comfort to me to think that we are becoming friends. I don't know that I'd lay down my life for you, but we have certainly taken risks to guard each other in battle. I feel comfortable with you, and that's been a rare thing for me of late, so I value that.
I'll shake my head and give her a pat on the shoulder and go,
There's a basement level that I haven't checked out yet. You want to go see if there's any more Orc Ears down there?
Yes, let's go.
All right, let's go.
All right, down to is actually the ground floor level.
Mm-hmm.
So 14. This just basically seems to be a cold storage room with a dirt floor. Not really much of anything of note here.
"Aw." I keep wanting to discover the place where he's hiding the pile of bodies.
I mean,
Right.
if he didn't do it in his room, where else would he do it?
Right. So cold storage like hams and root vegetables and things.
Um. Yeah, things that would actually need cold storage. Because apparently the non-perishable foodstuffs are stored in the pantry, which is between the hall and the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
This one over here. So, yeah, cold storage is... No, not that one. This one, where you guys are. Yeah.
Okay, I'll do one more perception check in here, seeing if I smell anything or see any different colored patches of dirt or just anything odd.
Sure. You are very certain that there is nothing odd here.
Okay, just a cellar. All right.
It is impeccably clean.
Well, for
That's a neat
dirt...
trick with the dirt floor. Alrighty. Keep exploring.
It is impeccably clean for a medieval fantasy world.
Yeah.
Right.
I think technically Forgotten Realms is a little more Renaissance than medieval, but
Oh, okay.
depends on how grime, and gritty you want to get with your campaign. But yeah, I guess
Right. Well, we're not going to see any marble floors out here. The best we could hope for would be a polished hardwood floor.
yeah. All right.
Oh, this is quite uninteresting. And I'll go back the way we came. Back up here. And then back down into here and meet up with Isel.
Okay.
Is there like a? I'm assuming there's like a dining table with chairs.
Yes.
In this large hall.
I
I'm
was,
just
I was
there.
actually exactly just going to say that.
Okay.
That main big hall room that you are now in is the dining room. So there is an oak dining table surrounded by tall-backed chairs. There are 2 iron chandeliers that hang from the high rafters up above the open to the second floor part above.
I'm gonna go take a seat right next to Isel. Like right next to him.
Okay.
It's the. You hear the page flip. Can I help you?
Oh, I was just finding myself a seat. I can't
I
wait
wake
for
up.
this dinner.
You just look all around the empty table. Yes, I'm hungry too. Page flip.
Would you like some pocket bacon? Because I have some.
How old is that by now?
I don't know. I'll straight.
Well, we've been traveling for. No, I don't want some pocket bacon, but thank you. You please enjoy it. So, does this place have any weird hidden secrets that you found?
I did not find any weird hidden secrets, but Grace was a little bothered by the fact that apparently Falcon has some orc ears pinned to the wall upstairs.
I mean, that is a little upsetting. No one likes to see ears anywhere, really. They're kind of weird.
Right.
Appendages.
At which point, Roderick probably seems to be like shrinking back in his seat, trying to not be conspicuous.
Do you think that they're hunting the orcs for sport here? I mean, that would check out with the theme of this place.
I don't know. Could be. You know, I wasn't really that bothered by it, but left a bad taste in her mouth.
Well, I can at least understand that. Sadly, Roderick was not particularly suspicious, as much as I wanted him to be. His room's just messy, which is a bit of a bummer, honestly. It looks like it's just a normal hunting lodge. Adventure. Page flip.
Hey, do you remember back when we first heard about the dragon? And I think it was when we went to Adabra Gwyn's. Do you remember we saw another adventuring party? And I think they were headed here.
I remember they took some of our quests, which would have taken some of our gold, so yes, I remember them.
Yeah. Whatever happened to them?
Ask it during supper, when he can't really avoid when we're all here. That's probably the best way to get the information out of him. If he squirms, we'll know.
I think that's a good idea.
And right about now, the door from the pantry into the hall flies open, and Falcon kind of like leans in, and he sees all of you gathered around the dining table. He's like, "Oh, good, you're all there. Just had a inquiry for you about the supper menu. Herbed chicken or goat stew?"
I gotta go with the herbed chicken.
I'd prefer the chicken myself.
What type of herbs are you using? Nothing too, herby, hopefully. No pepper, no spices. Just a light bit of salt.
It would be like parsley and stuff. I'd have to go ask Corwin. All I know is that he told me herb chicken or goat stew, and to ask which you'd rather want.
Well, ask Corwin.
Oh, fine.
Wait, hold on. Before you go back there.
And I'll reach down and I'll grab my tiny little pocket of holding with all the spices in it.
Yep.
Right?
Spice sack.
The spice sack, yeah.
The spice sack.
And I'll unclip that from my belt. And I'll get up and I'll walk over to him and I'll go, this right here, this has everything that he could possibly want for spices in it. Right? Now, I want this back afterwards, but he can use this for now. And I'll hand it to him.
And he just kind of has like a slightly puzzled look on his face, but he accepts it from you. And then turns around and goes back, and you can kind of like hear some muttering from off in the kitchen. And then he kind of like comes back out, and he says, and he like looks at Malik and says, "Corin is quite impressed by your spice collection. He says it'll really spice up the chicken."
Oh, hold on now. I distinctly remember asking about a very small amount of spice, just a hint of salt, if you wouldn't be. I am paying for one of your more luxurious rooms. I was just hoping that maybe we could get a piece of chicken with maybe, say, passing on all of those spices to come across my plate.
And then,
Maybe make one fee so it's not as spice.
And just no spices. Just, you know what? Just, it's fine. Just give me the chicken. Nothing extra. No fancy strings, please.
you either get the herb chicken with maybe now some of Malik's spices, or the goat stew.
I'll take the goat stew. I'll go back to reading.
And he just kind of like throws up his hands in exasperation. And he goes back into the kitchen.
Well, when he leaves, I'll look up. Do you all think the goat stew might be spicy?
I don't think the goat stew is.
Should I? I think I might be able to still
Goat
change
stew
it.
often is spicy to cover up the goat.
Ooh. Mr. Falcon, and I'll start walk into the
And
kitchen.
he actually like pokes his head back out. He was like, "Actually, yeah. What is it this time? I was coming back to say that food will be ready in half an hour."
The herb chicken, please.
Fine. And
Thank you.
mutters and he
Remember,
wanders back off into the kitchen.
light spices. I use a little bit of thaumaturgy to just make it a very, very slight bit louder for the light spices. And I walk back and I sit down in front of my book. Great, that's sorted. I can just go back to reading.
Okay.
Hey,
Well-
so what are you reading?
Oh, this one's about the various types of grass that you can find in, I flip a page back. Oh, it's gone already. Various types of grass.
Anywhere particular? No?
Well, I wasn't really paying too much attention because we were talking about the very important spices. I think it was somewhere on this continent at least, but you can't go backwards in the book. You can only go forwards, so I seem to have misplaced that information momentarily. Maybe it'll come up again. I don't know, I can get an answer for you then, but for now it's just grass.
Anything important about the grass?
Well, generally, it seems to be that crabgrass is a little harder to get rid of than your standard garden variety grass that you seem to see in all the fields, though that technically tends to be an offshoot brand of just regular village grass. You'll see more often around goat pens and cow farms. It's very weird.
Falcon, how close are we to getting that chicken?
He comes back out and he says, 20 minutes!
Oh, perfect. It's a wonderful time because some
then
of this long grass, the way it genetically
he,
mutates from the shorter grasses.
He shouts something back into the kitchen, and then he comes back out into the dining room and sets himself at the table. And he said, "What are you going on about?
I
Grass?"
see Falcon. I kind of like slow down on it. Yes, I was reading about grass, and then I just kind of go back to reading.
Do you know anything about grass that's maybe better for to feed goats rather than maybe some of the stuff I've been feeding mine?
Well, there are two varieties of standard village grass. There's the normal type that you'd see maybe around yards and houses, and then there's the type that you generally try to feed to livestock, and that one tends to grow more in fields, and you want to harvest it through going into the ground and the soil itself, and then digging that up.
I'll look over
and
at
then you
Grace and go, "Oh boy, am I glad that I asked this."
Generally, you want to do a full field transplant. So you go over and you dig it up all the way about, well, maybe about a foot down, I think is what it said. You have to go and dig a hole yourself and then transplant it onto your field and lot.
Is there anything about varieties of pipeweed in there? Isn't that technically a grass?
Well, slang-wise, yes. To the more vernacularly enhanced of us, yes. But here, it is not counted as a grass. It's more counted as a variety of plant. So, no.
And he just kind of like settles into thought.
I just kind of look at everyone and I go back to.
And then he'll turn to Grace and he'll say, "Grace, did you say where you studied bardic tradition?"
Vachluchen?
Ah,
It's up near Silvery Moon.
Yes, I've heard of the place. Never been there myself, of course, but it has its reputation.
It has a long history as a bardic college, of course. It was founded many centuries ago. Then that the first college withered for some reason, and but eventually it was refounded and has been going strong since then. There are
Oh, I think perhaps I've heard something
many
about...
fine bards have passed through that place.
You mentioned that the first incarnation of the place kind of withered off or whatever. I think I've heard tell of a legend of a legendary instrument of Hulken from that era that actually was maybe around these parts, maybe a century ago. I want to say that perhaps one of the heroes who fought the previous dragon of the era had that instrument and was buried with it.
You don't say.
Isel shoots a knowing look at everyone else at the table.
This is all just hearsay, of course, but I could have sworn I heard a legend about that.
Yeah, that sounds like one of them unfounded rumors.
How could
Well,
we
if it
possibly
was
know?
buried with, I wouldn't know about that, but you know, I'm sure that if it was buried with whoever bore it and used it to good effect, then it deserves to stay with them in their rest.
Well, that's certainly your opinion. Yeah, I'm sure it would be enticing to treasure hunters, nonetheless.
What sort of instrument was it?
The finest loot imaginable, so the legend goes.
Well, Grace, you play a lute, don't you?
Interesting. I do play a lute. It's a nice lute. It has its charms, but it's certainly not a mighty weapon for a bard, even in a musical sense. Yes, it's interesting to hear a tale of a magical lute, but I believe that heroes, you know, I don't believe in robbing the dead.
It's
Some may say they have no use for those things anymore, but if that were so, no, they chose to be buried with these things, and it seems a poor reward for their former heroic deeds, for their graves to not be safe after they pass on.
See, now it seems to me like if it did belong to these heroes that fought a dragon, that even if it was entombed with them after their death, it would seem to me like they would be all right with an adventurer coming and taking it in order to fight another dragon. Because it seems to me like these adventurers, these fabled heroes, were all about exterminating dragons. I would bet that even in their death, they would say, you know what? Go ahead, use my weapons to fight the dragon. That is, if you were fighting a dragon.
I can see how that could be a certain point of view. I mean, it would certainly be far different from someone just entering a tomb to take valuables and sell them. That, there is no question, would be reprehensible. But perhaps you have a point. Yes, I could see that. Perhaps.
Well, it's not like
worth
we'll
considering.
It's not like we'll ever find out about these theoretical questions. It's not like we can stare into graves and see outlines of
but
such objects. It's
here we are.
absolutely absurd.
Right, this is all,
But here we are,
theoretical.
waiting for our dinner. This is just pre-dinner conversation.
Just theoretical discussions, of course, Mr. Falcon.
Early.
Well, you certainly seem to have a...
But to change the subject, there's something I noticed on your walls that I was very curious about, speaking of remembrances of the dead, I saw several pairs of what looked like orc ears among your other trophies, and I was very curious. Is there a tale behind those?
And he kind of puts on a bit of a stoic face. He says, "Those are the ears of the orcs who slew Pel's family. Pel being my stable hand.
Whose family?
Pel. He's my stable hand, the mute
Oh.
boy."
And did you slay those orcs? Sorry, did you slay those orcs yourself?
I did. It was not all that long ago. Not long after the dragon came, chased the orcs down from the mountain, and Pel's family, they used to live in the woods, not too far from here, but Pel was the only one left. He had 2 older brothers and parents, and he came to me, and I had known of the orcs coming and rampaging through, and I made it my mission to find those who slew his family and slayed them for their wrongdoings. So I thought it was perhaps they're not my most proud trophies, but they are a reminder of something that I have done, and a reminder for whom I fight when the need arises.
I'll look over at Grace and go,
That's Neverwinter Wood justice.
And Falcon just nods, and he...
Well, I have a question about that. Wouldn't they do a lot more better as trophies or as warning signs if posted outside of your fine establishment instead of inside hanging on a wall somewhere? I feel like that's a bit of a, I don't know, a waste of vengeance, if you
But
understand it.
I can see your point, but they are where they are so that they are a reminder to me and not as a warning to others.
Just a silent nod.
Perhaps it would be unpleasant for the stable boy to pass by them every day. I can understand that, certainly. Well, thank you for explaining that. Could you tell me, the stable boy, has he always been mute, or was this a result of his encounter with the orcs or his family's trauma?
I did not know Pel well before he came to me, but ever since he did come to me, he has not spoken. He's only communicated through sign language.
A lucky chance that you knew the sign language, then.
Well,
But I suppose hunters find sign language useful.
I did not know it terribly well, but Pel and I have found our way to communicate. He can understand spoken word, but I have had to learn how to read his sign language.
can I do an insight check on this entire story?
Yeah,
Sure.
I also wanted to do an insight check.
That is a... No, I just believe him.
Yep. Nothing seems amiss to his story,
Woo!
according
There it is. Massive insight. I peer into his soul.
You can, yeah. So Isol, you can tell that he's maybe choosing his words carefully, but nothing exactly seems wrong. Like he's just trying to be careful. Like he's not trying to outright lie.
Okay.
So,
Everything.
how old was that kid? Sorry, I don't remember.
Yeah.
He's a boy.
Yeah, he's a boy. He's about 12.
All right. Well, I'm thinking rather charitably of Falcon now. He took in this boy, even though, to make him work, but still took him in, tracked down the orcs that killed his parents. Seems like a good guy to me, as far as I can tell.
Okay.
Yeah, Falcon, I had a question for you.
All right. Do you mind if I ask you something first?
Sure, go ahead.
There was another group of adventurers that came through here maybe 10 days ago or so.
That's what I was just going to ask you about, funny enough.
Well, I was wondering if you had any encounter with them.
We did not, no. No, I was gonna ask you about them because I had heard that they were on their way here.
Well, no, they just kind of passed through momentarily, stopped for, a rest, some supplies, and head out east towards the Woodland Manse. Apparently, they were going orc hunting, which I approved of.
Is the manse overrun?
Yeah, something about old ruins, magical maybe, and there's orcs and half orcs kind of set up camp there or something. So they were going off to see if they could maybe take care of the problem.
You haven't heard from them since, right?
No, I was expecting them to maybe come back through maybe right around now, but I've not heard anything at all.
And I'll look at Isol and go, they're dead.
Probably, yes.
Yeah. Probably dead.
So is this the
fact-
same ruins that I heard about?
Yes.
Okay.
Just Falcon actually says, in fact, when I heard of their quest, I even offered them a reward if they came back with proof of their success. I have a pair of magical boots up in my wardrobe. Thought maybe they could use them, but if they've failed in their quest and you folks are headed off to maybe in the same direction or on the same quest, then I'll make the same offer to you.
What was the name of the centaur that we ran into?
Xanth?
Weren't we going to meet him there?
That's a good question. I don't have that in my notes.
You were going to meet him somewhere.
Because we were going to meet him
again.
somewhere. Yeah, after we
Right,
went
he didn't
here.
want to go to the hunting camp.
Yeah, because wasn't he taking us somewhere?
Yes. Yeah. Actually, you are right. Yeah. He led you to Falcon's hunting lodge, and then he was going off to do something else, and then he said he'd try and maybe meet up with you at the Woodland Manse, I think is what it was. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Isol does a very small victory fist pump for a library in our future. He tries to keep it hidden, but doesn't. So it looks very out of place and weird.
Falcon, what exactly do you know about that other hunting party?
Well, there were 4 of them. There was a halfling fellow of a roguish nature. I believe his name was Chet. There was a very large fellow. I think he was one of those mountain people, Goliath. I believe they called him Oak Smasher. There was a blonde-haired woman. Had very opulent robes. I think she was a magic user of some sort. Don't remember what her name was. And then the fourth member was an elvish woman. She was a hunter. I've had encounters with her before. I believe her name was Elsara.
I suppose she was the one that was leading them.
Sorry, could you say that again?
And I suppose she was the one that was leading them to the manse.
Yes. Yes, she was.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I do believe we are heading in that direction.
They had seemed like capable enough adventurers. Maybe not quite to the same extent as your party or someone else of perhaps my own caliber, but I thought they would have, been able to hold their own.
Oh, maybe we'll run into them.
Well, did they just not come back? Perhaps they found something that led them farther.
Could very well
away.
be. All I know is they passed through here between a week and 2 weeks ago, and I've not heard anything tell of their party or of the orc encampment at the manse.
I mean, it could be, because I know that if you keep going up towards the north, you'll hit like a main road over by Long Saddle, up past the ruins of Coneyberry and things like that. Maybe they just went up that way, hit Long Saddle, and then came back on the road instead of coming back through the woods.
I suppose that's entirely possible.
So maybe we won't run into them. Who knows?
Well, in which case, I hope you run into them and find them well. And with that, Corwin comes bustling out with plates of food on his arms, and he starts setting down food in front of you. Everyone gets a plate of chicken in front of them with some, looks like some root vegetables, kind of like potatoes and oh my god, why did I just lose the... It's like a potato, but it's more
Carrots?
yellow.
Turnips.
Turnips. That's it.
Yam. Oh,
Potatoes and turnips, roasted root vegetables, and it's noticeable that he's like looking at the plates of food, and there's a specific one that he sets down in front of Isol, and the chicken on that one seems to be have a much lighter color than the ones that get set down in front of everyone else. And then there's a bowl of the goat stew that he sets down in front of Falcon. And Falcon turns to Corin and he nods and he says, "Thank you, Corin. Will you join our guests and myself to partake of the meal. And Corwin just kind of shrugs. And Falcon says, "Oh, well, join us." And then Corwin kind of bustles back into the kitchen, and he comes back out with a bowl of the goat stew for himself, and he sits down at the table.
Corin, what about my pouch?
Oh, yes, of course, sir. And he runs back into the kitchen, and he brings that out and hands it to you.
Hey, it's very important to me.
Yes, of course, sir. I would have given it back to you after the meal, but since you asked for it now, there it is.
It's quite impressive how much it held, isn't it?
Yes, there's quite a variety of things there.
All right, well, since I've decided that Falcon seems to be an okay guy after all, I will dig in to the chicken with no hesitation. I ignore the root vegetables on my plate.
Okay.
I'm gonna sniff the chicken, and then cast prestidigitation over it,
When you
and make it
sniffed
taste even less.
When you sniff the chicken, some spice gets up your nose and causes you to sneeze.
Yeah. Wait, and then I prestidigitate everything that just tastes as bland as humanly possible, and I start happily eating. Very small mouthfuls at a time.
Okay. All right. So, eventually Falcon kind of pipes up and he says, "So you'll be staying the night. May I ask what your plan for the morrow is?"
Well, I think we're going to head to the manse. Easel's interested in perhaps some old books that might be there.
I'm nodding very enthusiastically.
Yes, just the night, and we may as well leave as early at daybreak as to be able to get some distance in the next day. So, an early breakfast would be preferable if possible.
Well, that can certainly be accommodated. An earlier breakfast means it'll probably be something not too resplendent. Probably won't, have ham and hotcakes ready, but there'd probably be something suitable, I'm sure.
Something more like a continental breakfast.
Not sure I'm familiar with that term.
It's fine. That's all right. Just so you know, Roderick likes bacon. Loves it. Piles of it. Bacon everywhere. He's big into it. Loves it. Always talking about it.
Oh,
That's right.
There's
Give him the oversell.
there's Echo chiming in chat. Lies.
Perhaps some cinnamon rolls with raisins?
Well, there would be some flaky pastries and preserves and perhaps some goat jerky. There might be some bacon around. We could probably accommodate that.
That all sounds quite acceptable.
Oh, and cheese. There's so much cheese we need to be going through. Oh. Do you like cheese?
Cheese is not a favorite of mine, but some of the others do.
Okay.
Well, thank you. This was an excellent meal.
Yeah, very well done.
It was fine.
And Corwin is just kind of like beaming. He seems to be quite happy that people have enjoyed his food. And he kind of gets up and he says, please excuse me, I'm going to go and take Pell his supper now.
Is it still fairly early in the evening?
Relatively, yeah.
All right, I'm going to go up and bring down my lute and start playing
Okay.
as usual when I have some free time.
I'm gonna leave a gold coin next to my plate, so whenever Corn comes and picks it up, he'll get the gold coin too, I assume.
Okay.
I will do the same. Like seeing Easel do it, I'll go,
Yeah, right then.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
guess this is what we're doing then.
And
I deliberately do not notice.
Falcon
I
has...
think-
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, just I think the 3 gold that was asked for is quite adequate.
Falcon has excused himself. He should have been at the table, but he has excused himself and gone out of the door to the hall out here, and he's gone outside.
I'll kind of have Hemingway go and keep a very far away tab on him.
Yeah, so Hemingway just kind of sees Falcon enter this little building out there. And he seems to be in there for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then he comes back out. And then he goes off. He walks over in towards the kitchen area, and then you can hear the sound of water splashing. And then he comes back out into the dining room. And he sits back down at the dining table and just seems to be quite content to listen to Grace play music.
before he comes back, Easel, you sent Hemingway.
Yeah, you'll see. There's like a brief interaction where it looks like I kind of go away for a second, and then I come back and I just kind of shake my head, and then like Hemingway comes scampering back about a minute later.
Do I notice him, like, going into Hemingway vision?
I would assume so.
Yeah, if you're watching, I'm not like hiding it. I the book's on the table, so I can't really like cover my face with it.
So when he comes back, I'll say, "Were you watching him?"
He pooped. I'm pretty sure. It's gross. It's very icky.
Yeah. All right.
I thought maybe nefarious things were afoot. I was wrong. I can admit it. He pooped. Flip
Maybe.
the page.
Maybe we should go. Maybe we should go out and check just to be sure.
Haha, very funny. I know you lost to him today, so you'd maybe suspect him of some evil doings, but no, he's just a bland, boring Innsman who pooped. All right, well, great. The less we talk about this, the better. When he comes back, I don't want to talk to him.
I play a little louder to drown them out.
I'm not even sure how to continue from here.
Fucking chaos crew shattered. Chaos crew.
So eventually Corin and Pell both come back, and Pell sits in a chair at the table, and Corin comes and collects up all the dishes, and like he leaves the coins that you've set on the table on the table.
Oh, I'm stubborn. I'm not going to repick that up. That's there now.
And then
Yeah, I'll leave mine too.
so he collects up the dishes and he takes them back into the kitchen, and you can kind of hear the sounds of him cleaning up, but Falcon and Pell are just kind of both sitting at the table, not really saying anything, just listening to Grace play music.
I'll look at Pell and I'll say, it's quite impressive the way you speak with your hands. Could you maybe teach me a bit?
He kind of like he just kind of like looks at you like quizzically, and then he's kind of like sits and like he kind of goes back and forth for a moment, and then he's like shrugs and he nods, and then he starts flashing all of like these hand signs, and then he stops.
I'll say, how do you say thank you?
And then like he kind of lifts a hand up and he puts it to his chin, and then he drops it down in front of him.
Like this.
And he
Like
nods.
that. All right. Well, Pell. And I'll do it to him.
And then like he brings up three fingers like this, and he touches them to his forehead, and he brings them towards you.
Oh, that's your welcome.
And then
Right.
he nods enthusiastically.
Oh, see, this is much easier than I thought it would be. And I'll assume, so we don't have to go through all of American Sign Language,
Okay.
or the little bit that we both know. I'll sit there for a few more minutes, do maybe a few more things,
All right, sure.
and then that'll be that. I do, because I used to work with a deaf guy. I do know how to say shithead in American Sign Language.
Oh boy.
That's
Yeah.
all Pell taught you is just all of the swears.
That's all he taught me was the swears. Yeah.
We had content warnings for this, right?
And then, yeah, so eventually Pell kind of like yawns, and then he kind of like makes a motion as if he needs to leave and go to sleep, and he'll say goodbye and wander off.
Yeah, that's not actually a bad idea. I think I'm gonna.
Yes, I suppose you're right. And I put up my loot. And, thank you for a pleasant evening, host. And I will make my way up the stairs.
Okay.
I'm gonna go
So-
out here and out this back door and just kind of hang out here a little bit.
Okay.
Having seen that people get up, I'll kind of like look at like I wasn't really paying attention. Look around and be like, pick up the book, walk upstairs, and then like walk into the door and then look at Grace. Oh, I forgot. I don't sleep anymore. Huh.
Well, you could meditate here, or you could go up onto the roof and meditate there. Whatever you please.
Well, I guess I haven't really been into bed in a few years. Because it would be nice. Just lie there. Okay.
As you please.
and I will get in fully clothed into the bed and just pull the sheets up over my face. I guess this is nice.
Okay. So Roderick will probably go up onto the roof of the tower and just kind of like just curious as to where Malik is going. But then decides to just go off and go to.
I was gonna say, is he doing it sneakily?
Well, probably he is a he is a sneaker. But then he'll eventually just go off to the other quarters.
Yeah, I had nothing planned. I just wanted to come out here and just kind of look around and kind of survey the area.
Okay.
See if I can hear anything in the trees or.
It just seems to be a calm yet kind of windy evening. There are some distant sounds of insects and animal life. An owl hoots off in the distance. There seems to be nothing amiss in the woods tonight. At least around here.
Then I will head back in and go in here.
After about like a half an hour of lying there, sheets completely over my entire body. Grace, are you still awake?
You get silence back.
I mean, I can go and check with Hemingway. I just, thought I'd try this whole bed thing out again.
What is it, Easel?
I was just wondering, what was college like? I never applied.
What?
I was a bookbinder for a very long time, and I applied to several places of higher learning. Naturally, as you can clearly tell, I never got into any of them because here I am. Not there, but here. So I was just curious. What was college like?
I was just about asleep. If I talk to you for a little while about college, will you not interrupt me again for the rest of the night?
Okay.
Okay. What was college like? Well, it was, well, for one thing, it was in a city, in Silvery Moon, and before then I had lived in quite a variety of hunting camps with my parents and my sisters and brothers, and occasionally cousins would come by. But this was the first time that I had stayed in a city, so of course that was very different. It was
does seem like quite the change.
What?
Oh, it does seem like quite the change. Sorry, just...
Yes. It was noisy. There were people talking all the time. It was... all the smells were different. Instead of forest and earth, there was dust and wood and the stench that you get when many people live together in a small space. That's quite a bit of getting used to. It was also fascinating, interesting. There was always something going on. There were always interesting conversations going on. The classes were interesting, learning so much lore and music theory. I had never heard of theory of music before. It was always just repeating a song that I had heard in camp. And now I learned more about what made music and what made harmonies, and it was a delightful time in that way. Some of the students were very good to be with, and some of them were very terrible to be with. Many of them viewed me as a curiosity, as some of them appeared to view me as a large talking pet, and I had to be quite firm and eventually aggressive with them to get them to stop viewing me as some sort of kitty that they could pet. It's very, very rude to touch someone without first obtaining consent, and they kept doing it. And I had to draw blood a few times before they all knew not to do that anymore.
Yes, I've scorched a few people myself. I'm not a fan of personal contact.
But it was fascinating, and I greatly enjoyed. I mean, I know that you would love the library there. Well, the libraries. There's more than one.
There's more than one. There's two.
Well, there's the main library, and there are several specialized.
There's more than
libraries.
Oh, my.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Very unexpected.
I mean, they're not all large, but there are special collections, and they don't all live in the main library. Some of them you have to get special permissions, and a librarian will bring you something instead of simply wandering the stacks of the main library that the most students go to.
There's a person there that brings you the books that you want. I'm sorry.
Well,
and you lived in this dreamland.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, perhaps at some point you could ask permission to study there for a few days or a week or something like that. I'm sure that they would consider it for a donation to the scholarship funds.
Oh, I would very much like that. That sounds wonderful. I'll kind of flop the sheet off of the top of me and kind of kick it off with my feet, and then sit up in the bed. Thank you for that. Have a good night. And I'll pick up my book and kind of quietly walk out of the room and close the door lightly behind me.
You're welcome. I call out after you.
And I'll just read downstairs for the rest of the night.
And now my mind is racing, and I'm thinking about all this stuff, and all these memories are being stirred up after already a lot of memories being stirred up. So it's going to take me at least an hour or so to get to sleep, and so I'm going to be short on sleep in the morning.
Okay. Morning comes uneventfully. You all find yourselves as well rested as you would like. And then if you wander on down to the dining hall, you will find some breakfast set out waiting for you. But otherwise, everything seems to be pretty quiet.
Yeah, I'll go grab.
Well, I guess if Easel's down there reading all night, he'll see Corwin come in and drop off all of the breakfast. But
is the coin still on the table?
Sometime after you all had left, they must have been collected because they were gone when you went down.
Okay, because I was gonna aggressively slide it towards him every time he moved near me. So, just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I'll get up and go in and find Easel sitting there, and I'll grab a croissant, I guess,
The flaky pastry.
and orange juice and a croissant.
Well, I don't know about juice, but
I have a bowl of bland oatmeal and water next to me. Did you sleep well? You normally
I
are the
did.
one to instigate the conversations, and you just sat down and looked at me. A little unnerving.
Oh, this croissant's real good. How did you sleep? Oh, you don't sleep, right?
Right, I forgot too, honestly. Got the bed and everything. At least I
Did you
lied
stay
down
down?
in it.
Did you stay down here all night?
Oh, wait. Yes, every time we go to a new place, I just kind of sit in the lobby and read. It's where
you
the
didn't-
lights are kept up the most.
You didn't go up to the room.
I went up there for about a half an hour, maybe
Ah.
15 minutes. I lied down in the bed, put the sheets over me. It was
Yeah.
a remarkably nostalgic experience, I must say. I haven't experienced a bed in quite some time, and they're a lot more comfortable than I remember. I don't know if new bed technologies have been made, but it was quite the experience. One I will not soon forget.
I mean, most of the time it's usually just hay and feathers, but yeah, when you haven't been in one for quite a while, yeah, it can be quite comfortable. I can't believe you paid 10 gold just to go up there.
It was 30. It was
was-
30 gold.
It was 30 gold.
What? I mean, there's no need to laugh. I've been known to spend a lot on things before. It's not the first time. I don't feel dumb about it or anything. You can't force me to. And what was I going to do anyways? Revoke the room? Kick Grace out on her furry behind? That seems ill-advised.
Right, well, did at least she get a good night's sleep?
Well, I did maybe ask her a probing question right as she was drifting off, which I realize now, after about 8 hours of thinking on it, may have not been the right call, but curiosity strikes when it strikes, and
Right.
then you strike when the iron's hot. I don't know other idioms.
Well, I guess maybe that's why she's sleeping in a little bit then.
How was the Twigs room?
Oh, I thought it was fantastic. You know me, I love sleeping on twigs.
Yes, you do.
for the record, it wasn't actually twigs. It was just the description of those quarters. It reads as, where the heck did that go? It is covered in a carpet of straw. Arranged about the room are cots that come with soft pillows and thick wool blankets.
That sounds nice enough.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not gonna burst his bubble. I'm just gonna keep him thinking that they were twigs.
It's probably for the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah, I had it was a pile of twigs and a big rock for a pillow.
I just don't know how you sleep in such conditions. Well, I don't know how you sleep at all. I just don't understand it anymore. But, the bed was very comfortable, so I just don't know why it was free up there all night, so...
Technically, I actually don't sleep.
You don't sleep either?
No.
Oh,
no.
you meditate,
I
right?
meditate. Yeah.
I read about
Yeah.
that. You reach deep into the recesses of your elvish ancestry and recall the weave of mana or something. I don't know. This was months ago I read this.
I mean, it's you make it sound fancy. Basically, what you do is you just try to quiet your mind and not think about anything.
Is Roderick here yet?
Yep.
Has Roderick... okay.
Yeah, Redrick would have come in just behind Malik.
Isel would have just looked at Roderick. Do you sleep? Are you a sleeper? No? We haven't really checked in about this.
He doesn't sleep.
We all don't sleep, huh? Well, Grace sleeps. At least there's one. It's nice. I'll pick up my book and just go back to reading.
At this point, I stumble downstairs and head for the bacon or ham or whatever is out.
Okay.
The croissants are quite good.
Thanks.
I keep waiting for Shadow to say there are no croissants.
I mean, that is what was in my head. I just wasn't using the word. And then, eventually Falcon
Who
comes.
is-
Oh,
Oh, okay, yeah. I was just gonna ask his Falcon then.
yeah. Eventually Falcon comes in, and he seems to be chewing on some jerky.
Morning, Falcon.
Morning. Did you all sleep well, or as well as could be expected?
There's just a glance around the room at the various states of sleep. Issa
I
just
say-
shrugs.
My bed was very comfortable. Thank you. And then I kind of glare at Isel.
All right.
Is it-
Well, I have.
Falcon, didn't you last night say something about maybe doing a favor for you?
Oh, I did. Yes. Come to think of it, I've reconsidered, and I don't really think I need you to do anything for me. But actually,
Nothing we could help you out with.
no. I'm sure Corn and Pell and myself will be fine here. But actually, I was going to say I have something for you, Malik. I'm afraid I don't really have anything to offer to the rest of you, but I would like to give you a quiver of arrows.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll always take arrows.
Yep. And of course, you're all welcome to load up on any food supplies that you need. Yeah. I believe you said that you wanted to get going as soon as you could, so I will certainly won't keep you.
I did have one question about the manse.
Okay.
You said the other travelers were going up there.
Yes.
You said if they came back, then perhaps you might have a pair of boots for them.
Yes, I did. Yep. The same offer goes for you, I guess, or whoever gets here first with proof of success of the quest.
And what kind of boots are those? Are they fancy?
Yes, they are fancy boots. They're boots that let you walk up walls.
Well, that could be quite useful.
I suppose for you, I find no difficulty in walking up walls myself.
Issa will also shrug and go, I can fly, so...
Right, but if me or Roderick had those boots, then, at least most of us would be on the same kind of playing field,
Yes.
Falcon, if we go to the manse and we take care of the orcs over there, I'll say we'll come back this way, maybe pick up those boots from you.
Certainly.
I say, oh, and I realized that I had meant to write a note to my relatives, and I sit down and pull some paper out of my pack and start scribbling something down. as the conversation continues.
Okay.
Okay, and I finish it.
Yeah, there is really.
And
Yeah, I
hand
mean,
it
I
to
was
the
all done.
innkeeper. Right. Well, will you kindly, if you see my relatives come through again, kindly pass this along to them?
Sure. I will certainly, if I do see them, I will pass it along.
How many arrows are in the quiver that you gave me?
Standard quiver size, so I believe that's
A
20.
score.
Yeah, 20.
Yeah.
It wasn't a fancy magical quiver in any way, was it?
No.
Okay.
No, I already have one of those.
Oh, yeah.
You got it for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was from the traveling magical items merchant.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it's basically a quiver of holding.
Mm-hmm.
It holds all kinds of stuff.
I feel like it's very necessary to have that. Can't be like just bogged down with arrows the whole time.
Right.
2 quivers on each side of the waist, quiver on the back.
Right. You have 35 quivers.
Quiver on each calf, ready to go. 90 pounds of arrows. Can't stop me. Yeah, at some point I'll go get my pack from upstairs, and then I'll be sitting at the table, just kind of hugging it and reading the book, as a visible sign that I'm ready to go whenever.
Okay.
Right. So, let's head out then.
Okie dokie. So I need. All right. So you head out from Falcon's hunting lodge. Heading east towards the woodland manse. So, if you're on this map, I have a thing I need to do.
Can I keep an eye out as we travel for anything that might might jump us?
Yeah, so guess where I rolled on the dragon encounter?
Did you roll a dragon encounter?
At Falcon's hunting lodge.
No.
Oh no!
But technically this is it just flying overhead. It's not
okay.
it's not a it lands and fight you one. Yeah, so it's comes swooping in overhead and it kind of flies around in a circle for a bit. And it seems as if it's maybe eyeing Falcon's animals in their pens. But it sees people around, like you folks, and then it just kind of flies back off south.
I'll gallop up to Easel's horse and I'll tap him on the shoulder and go,
I'm
"Look,
invisible at this point. The moment the wings started, I just, from existence, I'm just invisible.
So I'll gallop up to Easel's empty horse and I'll go, look, there's a... Oh.
I'm here.
Oh, right. Yeah, the invisible thing. Yeah. Right then, well, I guess you saw.
I
I was
heard.
gonna point him out to you, but you know,
No,
obviously
it's
you
fine.
already knew.
I'm, just let me know when it goes away. so I can stop hugging this horse, this horrible, smelly horse.
I think it's gone now.
Hold on.
I'm guessing it was gonna go pick up one of maybe Falcon's horses, or maybe one of his farm animals.
I'll slowly drift back into the realm of the visible, just kind of like in the middle of looking around. Okay, that seems right. I mean, it is a large pen of livestock, so make the most amount of sense. We are getting closer to Icespire, are we not?
Sort of. It's south from here. We're
Quite a ways to
going.
go.
Yeah, we're going east right now.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope we don't run into it again. At least not before we get some breathing room in, and I can cast invisibility 100 more times.
Right.
All right. So you then head on over, and you eventually find yourselves on the outskirts of the woodland manse. I keep clicking the wrong thing. Hope this works. Woodland manse. Bring you over to a new map here.
Oh boy.
Technically, I don't think you were supposed to see those yet, but whatever.
That's fine.
And with being on the outskirts of here, I think is probably the appropriate time for us to have a cliffhanger.
I'm very zoomed in. All I see is some trees and some pumpkins in the trees, and that
Maybe
looks like
they're orange trees. I was just wondering about that myself.
Yeah,
it looks
I
like
thought
there's a
pumpkin.
boar in the tree.
Yeah, so I will read you this thing to set up the scene for next time. Following a trail through the woods, you come to a foggy clearing, in the midst of which stands a crumbling two-story manse, all but hidden beneath thorny ivy. The large house is set atop a 6-foot-high stone foundation, and the main entrance has a balcony above it. Pumpkins grow in wild patches around the manse, with several wild boars feeding among them. The boars snort with contempt as you draw near.
Well then,
Well, if they're not snorting in anger or hostility, maybe we can just go right by them. Maybe.
is it a hostile snort or like a playful snort?
He said a snort of contempt.
A
Yeah.
snort of contempt. Yeah, all right.
It would be a snort of "don't try anything." All right. So that was quite the dialogue-heavy session.
Gotta settle back into the characters after a prolonged break.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's been more than a month, a little more than a month since we played last. So, yeah. I think we promised a role-playing heavy session in Discord or chat or something before, and that's exactly what it turned out to be.
It certainly did. Yep. Yep. Yeah. So, Triffid, how did you feel about tonight? Yeah. Any thoughts?
Good. I got to go quite a bit more into Grace's background as she is getting comfortable enough with her new-ish companions. For us, it's been August, but for the characters, it's been just a couple of weeks, right?
Correct.
Right. So she's getting a little more comfortable talking about herself with these people, and having been through some things with them, but also just kind of getting to know them a little bit. She's opening up a little bit more about some of her motivations and things that she's going through, and so yeah, I liked being able to do that today. I liked the conversations with Isel and Malik, and it was a good way for us to step back into our roles again after a bit of a hiatus. And so, yeah, I think it was a good session. I know that some people in chat were disappointed that we did not have a lot of combat, but that'll come
soon.
next time. I'm pretty sure there'll be some combat next time.
Mm-hmm. Just look at this map.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do you have anything going on, any podcast stuff that you want to plug, anything like that?
Oh yeah, let's see. I've had a couple of more Stargate SG Fun review podcasts where we talk about so far we've wrapped up the first season of Stargate SG-1, although that discussion hasn't been released yet, but we've dropped 2 podcasts, and sorry, I'm getting distracted while I'm trying to look up what the other stuff. Right, 2 episodes of that. I've also been on a couple of SFF audio podcasts where we discuss books, and I'm trying to look up what those are right now because I recorded like 5 of those and only 2 have been released. So we did a discussion of Star Hunter by Andre Norton, which was actually quite disappointing to me because I loved Andre Norton books growing up as a kid, but this book, wow, it was bad.
Oh,
so everyone on the podcast talked about the various ways that it was bad. And then I did another podcast on SFF Audio talking about The Jewels of Gwaller by Robert E. Howard, and that was a bit more fun discussion. It's not his best Conan story, but it certainly was, a good basis of discussion. And that's about it.
Okay.
I also got the fun of playing 2 D&D with viewers, the Winter Splendor campaign that Arvin hosted.
Yeah, that's right.
So y'all can catch those on YouTube or the VODs if you want.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hello, Wenchkin. Sorry, I think you've come in right at our outro here, so we're just wrapping up. But yeah, we'll move on up to Hoodie. Do you have any thoughts about tonight's session?
It's such a joy to be able to play Isil, and I love interacting with the other characters. We bounce very well off each other. They're always fun scenes to do, and I very much I appreciate the just being able to say he was pooping is great. I didn't think I was going to be able to say that as Isil, but I don't know what compelled you as a DM to have him go out audibly to a restroom and come back, because I just never would have considered that. It was such a good, because Isil was already so suspicious of him. He had to check it out because this was like his last chance to get any dirt on this guy, and he got actual literal dirt. So it was great. It was a great all around experience. Had a bunch of fun. I loved it. It's nice to step back into the character.
Great. Yeah. So, anything you want to plug? I know I've been watching you play through Yakuza Like a Dragon on stream.
It's stream a lot of video games. That one is insane. That's an actual insane person made a video game, and it's called Yakuza. I don't know. I can't really explain it. I think, what was it? Yesterday, I fought a robot. I saved a child. I helped save a homeless man from getting stabbed. And also, I fought a tiger, a bear, and a monkey who was piloting construction machinery. So yeah, it's weird. I don't know what even to say about it.
Oh,
So,
that sounds insane.
yeah, no, it's pretty crazy. Oh, and I can just casually play Virtual Fighter in the middle of it for no reason for like an hour. I played crane games for like an hour too.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm losing my mind. Anyways, so that's me.
Yeah. Do you know? Are you scheduled to have your D&D on Sunday?
As far as I'm aware, D&D is like fully. We've come out of the winter break, kind of, where everyone just couldn't make it due to various family reasons, and we should be going strong for the next couple of weeks at least.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Sunday, I DM. Wednesday, I'm here.
Cool. All right. Then we'll move on up to Rockod. Do you have thoughts about tonight's session?
Oh, I like tonight's session. Yeah, like Hoodie said, I think we bounced off each other really well. And honestly, I was surprised that Grace went into so much backstory. Because, like, I had the idea. I actually had the idea that I was going to ask her, because I got the idea in my head that I was like, how can I open up this conversation? Okay, she seemed a little on edge the last couple of games, so I'll just go with that. And I was going to wait until we were, like, having dinner together. But then I thought, oh, when we're both upstairs on the roof, this is the perfect opportunity. And I didn't know that it was going to go, like, as far into stuff as you did. And I was very pleasantly surprised.
I am quite sure that if Malik had asked that Grace about that at the dinner table, she would have, given a very shallow answer and put you off instead of opening up like that.
Right.
So you picked your time and place.
Picked the spot good. Yeah. I just wish I had been there for finding out about where the college that I can't pronounce is. Silvery Moon. Silvery Moon.
It's in Silvery Moon.
Moon.
The Bardic College in Silvery Moon, also known as Faklu.
That.
I'm not even gonna try. It's just gonna come out as swear words.
No, it's you know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's what I like to say a lot.
I'm gonna try a lot off stream, and then I might attempt it on stream once. We'll see how it goes.
I'm not gonna try it off screen, and then I'm gonna try it on stream.
I want to roll them dice.
All right. Well, I see Echo in chat. Echo, we missed you tonight. It would have been nice to have you, but I understand. Sometimes life throws you curveballs. So I hope that you manage to find something that can help you with your situation in life at this time. If that's whatever it is, I hope that you can find some help or some solace or something. We certainly...
and Echo made a suggestion that when we come back, we do maybe a real quick a year and end review.
Oh yeah.
And I think that would be a good idea, but we'll wait until he comes back so he can
Yes.
part of it too.
Yeah. Right. So we hope to have you next week. We will at least try to have a session next week, I believe is the plan. But as far as stream wrapping things up go, I will try and find someone to raid after we're done here, but I need to make sure to plug all of Arv's stuff. So, yep, as Rock God is putting in chat there's the exclamation point all things or Arv things, gets you all of Arv's stuff. There's exclamation point Icarus for Arv's graphic novel, exclamation point library for Arv and a bunch of other authors who have contributed to a 5e sourcebook. For Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library, there's exclamation point Greyshade KS for an announcement about an announcement to come about stuff involving Arv's fantasy novels and other related universe products. Exclamation point BLM for the Black Lives Matter information card. We want to make sure that we keep showing our support for that. Exclamation point help now for mental health and suicidal thoughts help. And anything else that I'm missing?
I don't think we did Shadow Crew.
Oh yeah, and exclamation point Shadow Crew for all of our stuff. So check us out there. Give us a follow wherever. And I'm not so great at this. How do you help?
If any of y'all if any of y'all listeners want to talk with us about this, you could certainly talk with us on the Discord.
Yes.
Yeah. We could discuss things a little more there.
Terry Toons has done a wonderful job kind of like
organizing the Discord.
And restructuring the Discord, and it's quite nice now. It's a little more organized. Yeah, it's
very organized.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's awesome. So come join the Arvanauts community on the Arvanauts Discord there. But I think with that, it's good night. Stick around for a raid. I'll put those raid commands in the chat.
Yeah, Arv is on if you want to raid him.
Ha!
Hey, Squish. Hey, Squishy.
Ooh, Squish Cat.
Oh, you still have Squish?
Yeah. I'm still watching over Squish for the time being.
Nice.
This is her saying goodbye. This is her doing the wave.
She's doing the wave, all right.
She's basically just a puddle of a cat. So
nice.
Yes, that
Is
is
a real cat?
Is that a real
Yes,
cat?
that's a real cat.
It's a real cat. Yes.
All right. Well.
She's the best cat.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cuddly cat.
All right. Well. Good night, everyone.
Unlike Grace.
Stick around for that raid. And bye-bye.
Bye.